it's going to go, everybody. This is Native Waves Radio. You are now listening to Native Waves on CFUV, which is located at 101.9 FM on the radio dial. And you can find us on the internets at www.cfuv.uvic.ca. Anywhere in the world where you happen to have free Wi-Fi, which doesn't happen to be actually down here at the sub-building. Anyways, we are, thanks for listening, and we're with you every Tuesday from 2 until 3. And today we have some live Indians in the station.
We're here at the University of Victoria. We're about to go on to this radio station here, CFUV. There's Blair Russell and Janet Rogers there. Still going strong. Arrived in Victoria, University of Victoria. This is what is it? What's the handle again?
CFUV.
CFUV. And Blair and I are going to do an interview here, so we'll tune in. We'll tune back in with y'all once we get the ball rolling, and we'll get the tumbler up. We'll get the tumbler up
Tonight.
Apanakus
Tonight.
by tomorrow at least.
Tomorrow.
Okay, Blackfoot, some Blackfoot language for you. Boom.
Where were you just last evening?
Last night we were in Cowichan, which is Duncan, and we were hosted very well by Harold Joe and Patty Delisle. I hope I'm saying her last name right. And our fellow artist Liv Wade was also us.
Oh, that's
she
great.
was one of our hosts as well.
That's
and we had a really great presentation last night. It was really good.
Good. So these guys are on the road, as I keep saying, and they're talking about not only the film project that they're doing crowdfunding for, but also telling us about the production company that they're making the film through, and also just here to kind of have a presence for Indigenous media artists, which I think is a very underplayed thing in the communities right now, but it's gaining popularity, and we're going to do our best too on the Kwanghan land in the city of Victoria that sits on the Kwanghan land to help promote Indigenous media artists as well. So guys, I just want to start by saying the name of the film is Pensive Times of an Urban Tribe.
Yes.
And I want you to please put us in the location of where this story is going to take place on film.
On film. Okay, so the story is taking place in Toronto, and the reason it's not really an arbitrary city that I've chosen. I'm not from there. I've never lived there. I've only visited there. I've got quite a few friends there. But every time I've visited there, I realized the magnitude of that city. In this country, I really truly believe that Toronto's our only true metropolis, right? I've lived in Vancouver for over 9 years, and it's a big city, sure, but it's it's really essentially a big small town is what it is, a big sprawling small town compared to, say, a city like New York City or Toronto, which is a concrete mass. So I've been fascinated by what that phenomenon, the phenomenon of a metropolis like that would have on Indigenous people in that territory, people who live like in the high rises, who live in the concrete jungle, and how that affects their connection to the land, to their culture, and of course, how did they get there? What elements of colonization got them to that point? How have they been impacted negatively or positively by the genocide that their ancestors faced and they face today? So it's just a huge conversation that I want to sort of create awareness about some of the reasons why there's dysfunction and addiction in our communities. And do it in a way that's not so fire and brimstone. I want to take a narrative approach to having a conversation about these things through the film itself.
Good.
We had a really good hour-long radio show yesterday. I thought the time just flew by. We listened to it again. It was a really good, extensive breakdown of what we're doing on this tour. What do you think about what we're doing with this project?
Oh, I just think it's all kinds of brave. I think it's all kinds of wonderful, because when you are through the tour, and I know you will get through it successfully, and I said this on the air yesterday, I think that it's going to be a great example of something that's been done, because you've proven that it can be done. And by that I mean going ahead with your dreams, your visions, and your projects without relying on someone's permission, whether that be social permission or moreover financial permission to do this work. And you guys are making it happen, and I'm all about that, and I hope to see more of that go down in the future.
Absolutely, yeah. We're just about ready to head into the United States, and there's a lot of uncertainty there. Like, we don't have any. Some of our venues are not locked up. We're pretty tight on funds too, so we're still waiting for some other work to come through for us. And of course, Blair is trying to get more photo shoots lined up. Talk a bit more about your festival coming up next year.
Right. So when you're done your film,
Yeah.
we're going to invite you to screen your film at the Two Worlds Festival, and in Victoria on Lekwungen land. I'm working with MediaNet, and we are putting on for the second year in a row, Two Worlds Indigenous Media and Arts Festival and Performance Festival. So that includes not only video filmmakers, we're including Indigenous performance art people, sound installation people, this sort of thing. And so this is very exciting for this region because it's a region that doesn't have exposure to that yet. And but we're gonna resolve that.
And while I was in Toronto, I started meeting all of these young and up-and-coming actors that are going to specifically the Center for Indigenous Theatre, and other actors who have just already been established doing work for years there. And I was so impressed by the talent out there. I just started writing. I was just super inspired. I sat down and I was brought to some Latino bar by my friends, and they wanted to show me around and stuff. But I went straight to the back of the room and I started writing. I had my computer out on the table and I started writing this concept, because it just started hitting me really hard. All of the inspiration and the concept was very clear at a very early stage, and it was just a matter of like having an experience like this tour to sort of help fill in the blanks and tell that narrative and tell that narrative story through. And I'm writing it as we go. Every time I hear from different artists and their perspectives on what we're doing, the story changes just a little bit. And I'm hoping that refining the story in that manner, by the time we get to Toronto, it's going to be exactly what it needs to be. The story itself, the screenplay itself. It's an ensemble project. There's no main character. It's a group of people facing different things in the modern context in the midst of that city.